Hello, this here is Alfred Samuel Parker. I am the grandfather of a young man that some of you may know called Stephen Parker. Although I think I look younger than he does. Okay. So, I was sitting here thinking about really nothing because I'm enlightened. Well, maybe I'm not. I don't know. But, there's a lot of people out there that talk and talk and talk about enlightenment and the awakening and becoming, I don't know, all those words they use. If you want to know all the words, just go to Facebook. They all love talking about that enlightenment stuff on Facebook. Unity consciousness. That's one of the big ones right now. What the hell is unity consciousness? I don't know. I don't think anyone really knows. So, a long time ago, I had a conversation with someone. And this person was associated with one of those gurus. Some of those guys and gals they're all right. Some of them are just assholes. Not all of them. Some of them are really cool. Some of them are big dicks. Just like all professions. Some very fine teachers in the school system, and there's some freaking losers. Same thing happens with the guru business. It's true. So, anyway, that's not the point. The point is that this young lady told me that her guru said once you get to enlightenment, you realize it's just a big joke. I remember reading or hearing somebody say, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. Kind of takes the joy out of wanting enlightenment, doesn't it? Because some of these people who claim to be enlightened, and they may be, I don't know. And some of them, the ones that take on this role of the enlightened master or the guru or God incarnate, walking around the streets, having cappuccinos. Maybe they are. Maybe there's a whole bunch of people out there that are enlightened, don't even know it. Maybe their soul been enlightened so many times it's getting boring. So they got to come back and fool their human self into thinking that they're not. But they really are. And they walk around with this consciousness or light or whatever the hell you want to call that stuff. This deeper sense, even if they're not even aware of it, of who they are. That they're part of everything. That they're, I'm sure there's lots of catchphrases I can come up with that'll make sense that you've heard before. I don't even know what the hell to say. Whatever the hell it is for to be enlightened, almost certainly is not what you and I think it is. Because you and I are still thinking most of the time with our human linear brain that thinks that everything one comes before the other, and then this must mean that, and that must mean this. Pfft, what a bunch of crap. So what is this enlightenment? I don't know. You don't know probably. The ones that claim to know most of the time don't know. They're either lying to you or they're lying to themselves. Probably the ones that are closest to us are the ones that are happier, ones that are laughing all the time, ones that don't get pissed off when you bump into them. They've stopped somehow, whatever their technique is. They can do the Sudarshan Kriya breathing. Or they can do the Kriya Yoga. Or the TM or the whatever. But most of the time, they just simply don't seem to take life too serious. I don't know. And there are certain people occasionally that we all meet, I get to meet, that's really nice. Occasionally somebody walks into the room. It can be an old man, old woman, it can be a young child, it can be a dog. As soon as they walk into the room, whether they appear to be in a good mood or not, you just feel good. And there's something in that they're aligned with on some deeper level that just kind of settles you down. And what was bothering you all fucking day long just don't bother you no more, and you don't understand why, because it pissed you off so bad. My God. Then this person who maybe you don't even know, like I say, maybe they're one of those guru types. Maybe they're just the post office delivery guy. Suddenly you feel good. Wherever they go, stuff just kind of settles down. When I kind of run into those people, I start to forget my story. You know that story. You got your story too. You know that story you like to tell people how horrible this person is. Or, man, your bursitis is kicking your ass today. Don't you feel sorry for me today? That's right. Y'all have your story. I have my stories. So what is this enlightenment thing? Maybe it's just you get tired of telling your story and you just let yourself feel good. For me, sometimes it happens. Sometimes in the worst times of my life, I would sit there. I remember I had this business. I used to own a Domino's pizza store in Canada. And I was a horrible businessman. I was not good at making the money in that thing. I was good at running the store, making the pizzas and getting people to do things and all that kind of stuff. But the business part of it, I sucked. And I was going under. And one day I said, Creator, God, just give me some peace for a little while. I just want some peace. That was one evening. The next day, I go to work, my little pizza delivery store, and it's slow as shit. And I ain't making no money. So I stepped outside, out into the sidewalk in front of the store, and I looked up, and it was a beautiful day, and something happened. I stood there, and I felt some, I don't know what to call it, wave of peace just kind of settle in on me. And I kind of went into bliss. And I was like everything was okay. I can smell the air right now. I can see the trees across the street. And it lasted for a few hours. And it didn't matter what was going on with the store, that I was making no money. And I wasn't sure how I was going to have enough money to buy supplies for the next week. It didn't matter in those moments. So I had a moment of peace. I had a moment of enlightenment, I believe. And there's been 2 or 3 or 4 other clear moments like that in my life. So maybe enlightenment isn't always a goal that you have to get to for everything to be happy. Maybe it's just something that settles on you once in a while. Sometimes it happens in meditation for some people. Sometimes it happens when you're getting your face licked by a dog that loves you. Or whatever. Sometimes you're looking at a picture of somebody you like very much. Sometimes you've been meditating your ass off for 15 hours and you're done. You're in the void. You're in the gap. You're in the silence. And you come back out and everything's shiny. Maybe it's just a thing that happens sometimes for us. Maybe sometimes it just happens more often, and sometimes it doesn't. And I don't know. I've seen people that probably are enlightened, a couple of those guru types. One young man who has hundreds and hundreds of millions of people following him. Met him in person, very nice young man. And I watched as a bunch of his very well-meaning followers were just kind of like trying to suck his energy. Please say something wise. Meditate with us. Make us feel good. And you could see he was like, God damn, do you people not get it? It's not about me. It's about you. It's about you just kind of allowing stuff to come. I could see his frustration. And I don't know. So how does it really work? I don't know. You don't know. Most people don't know. Even the ones that think they know probably don't. Does it matter? No. What matters is what's going on right now. Take the time for a moment right now while we're watching this and just kind of close your eyes a little bit. And if you were to pretend that you felt peace and you felt that your whole body was made of light and that everything around you was made from light and it radiated this overwhelming sense of completion and quiet and silence. And you have 13 seconds of peace. For those few moments you're enlightened, I think, maybe. That's what it feels like when I occasionally allow myself, for whatever reason, through conscious effort or just by mistake, through the grace of whatever. Maybe that's what it really is. I don't know. But for now, probably you and I will have moments of it, occasionally. Probably less often than our brains like to think we would want it. So what is enlightenment? I don't know. I'm too full of shit to know. But I don't think it's something we can know. I certainly can't. It's something we get to feel occasionally. So do your meditation. I'm going to try and do mine. I did only about 8 or 9 minutes today. Do your theta healing, cleaning your emotional issues so you're not all over clamped. Go out into nature or smell the air near the sea. Let them negative ions fill your body and do something to you for a few moments. Because when you get those moments, you dip into the silence. You dip into the peace. You have a moment, a microsecond, sometimes maybe 10 minutes. You dip into that peace. And then when you come back out into the world of chaos and whatever is going on in your life, you get to take a little bit of that peace with you. And then eventually you'll dip back in again through meditation or through whatever your thing is. And you take a little bit more and a little bit more, and over time you bring more and more of it like a candle. Get the wick, get that string, and dip it into the wax. Pull it on out. A little bit of the wax stuck to that string. That's that silence. That's that enlightenment. And you dip it in again, boy or girl. A little bit more of that enlightenment comes out. You feel like you're in peace all the time? Hell no, you don't. That's okay. If you do, God bless you. But most people don't. Even the really, really dedicated meditators. Not 100% of the time. That's okay. So what is it? Who knows? I can't describe it in an intellectual way. Doubt really anyone can. Words are too limiting. So, just play a little bit. All right? Thank y'all.